Fun little job with local tree service. About a 40-some inch Monterey Cypress leaned over into a redwood, partially uprooted, double whip tackled, and back guide to a Monterey pine with the lowering device on the third tree to try and take some of the pressure off that lean, because it was sort of unknown how much holding power was still left in the roots. So I went up the Monterey pine and got double whip tackle set up and cranked it with the Hobbs and the X wheel to take the pressure off the redwood. From there, it was just a matter of going up and rigging the branches off that weren't making contact with the redwood. So then once all that weight is off, then you can go cut the ones that are making contact with the redwood, and then you just have a stick left. And by then, we would surely know how much holding power was in the root system. I was confident that the cypress was stable, but I do like to do this as sort of an extra safety measure. Plus, it makes those pressure cuts easier to make if they're even under pressure by the time you remove all the extra weight on the tree.
Nice one.
Here you'll see me hang the saw for my second bridge. I like to do this when I'm using a slightly bigger saw as a climbing saw. It's just a little nicer on your back and hips.
So we're just slowly clearing all the side, the stuff that's not under pressure, getting all the weight off, and hopefully by the time we get all this top off, when we get to the side that actually is under pressure against the redwood, it'll be very minimal pressure, and then we'll be left with the wood, which is fairly decent size still, even at the top. These tend to hold their diameter a bit. Yeah, good. Just hold that, hold the one in the other tree tight. Keep letting yours out.
Yeah, I'm a little worried that we're gonna go across that.
It looks like it's gonna stay on this side. We might have to deal with a branch, but maybe try, Caesar, let yours out a little bit. A little bit more. And now just run yours. Ryan, yeah, run yours. Yeah, run it. And watch your head for hangers. It's hung a little on the guy line, so let yours out a little, and Caesar, let yours out a little. Maybe it'll rip out of there. I think it'll just, I see the branch it's hanging on. Give it a little slack and see if it just jolts off of there.
He doesn't have any tension on that, Corey.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys could get a tagline on that, you could do that too. So rigging plan effectively worked to get it all out of there. It was all stuck. I was worried about that. They were all like together and stuff and leaning on each other. And we got it off of where we needed to be with that guy line. Of course, that's going to be in the way. It's just, but I'd rather have that, and I'd rather have it in the way because it's basically potentially holding the tree as we take more weight off. But it's a guesstimation. It's like how much are the roots really holding? I'm not sure. How much is it leaning on the other tree? I'm not sure. But that's a nice insurance policy to be on the safe side, to make sure it's supported in some way, because I am tied into it, even though I'm tied into the other tree as well. Safety first. Thought for sure the broken piece was gonna fall too, but it didn't. Very surprising. Pressure's off, all the brush is off, and all we're down to now is the stick. The stick is still being supported by the rope, but a lot of the root strength is still retained as well. And I think if we loosen that at this point, this would totally just be standing by itself. Now we're going to sand it. Okay. Dynamic piece we've had. See where all the old splits on the top are. It's a little bit under my hinge wood. You want to be a little bit above. So that wasn't perfect, but the physics of it, the weight of it, still took it the way it needed to go. It's pretty much a done deal.
So this is basically where we ended day 1 and left the rest of the spar to deal with on day 2. We got a fair amount done, and we were on schedule, if not a little bit ahead of.
So we're just kind of going with a little more conservative lumps because the setup's going to be easier to redo and recreate and break down. We're using that skinny redwood, hopefully not to bear much weight, but more to help redirect it. And just do little bits. I could have kept doing what I was doing, flopping it on itself and using that high point over there. But that breakdown and that set up like every couple feet, and you couldn't go much bigger anyways. A little more time consuming, a little more labor intensive. And now we've gotten to where we've hoisted up the spar, so I'm tied in the other tree and I'm tied up here. So we're going to let off the slack and see what happens.
Lower it.
That's your Zallo, Justin.
It's pretty solid on the inside, dude.
Yeah, I thought it'd be hollow down, or down the middle.
Nice. How you doing?
Let's put it right there in the middle.
There.
You can just get down a little bit.
Hey guys, you're looking for those plastic things down there, right?
Turns out the
Whoa!
not as extensively rotten, at least here. It might be worse there.
So a little bit of a screw up on my part. These two tie-ins at this point are now starting to drift me in a very kind of awkward direction. My bar also isn't quite big enough to go through the wood. It's about in the 40-inch range at this point. I walked around the cut on the downslope side, but I didn't walk it around quite enough because you can see right around here it didn't quite reach just because of those kind of ridges and folds and shape of the wood. So now I've got to go over there now that it's fully cut through the other part and nip at it, and of course it's going to pinch my saw a bit, so I'm going to have to slide it off, and when I do it kind of does that, gives my bar a little bend, a little jerk. It didn't end up messing up the bar or anything, it's a fairly flexible bar. But that's a good example where if you don't make sure that your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, it can cause you a little grief later. But that's about the only hiccup we had, or I should say I had rather. Not bad for a job loaded with sort of technical rigging and a lot of moving parts. Got it down in 2 days and everything was alright, everybody was safe, no property was damaged.